I'm going to read chapter 14, which is called Marvellous Medicine number 4, and it's a very, very short chapter. Back in the kitchen once again, George, with Mr. Cranky watching him anxiously, tipped half a pint of engine oil and some antifreeze into the giant saucepan. "Boil it up again," cried Mr. Cranky. "Boil it and stir it." George boiled it and stirred it. "You'll never get it right," said Mrs. Cranky. "Don't forget, you don't just have to have the same things, but you've got to have exactly the same amounts of those things. And how can you possibly do that?" "You keep out of this," cried Mr. Cranky. "We're doing fine. We've got it this time. You see if we haven't." This was George's marvellous medicine number 4, and when it had boiled for a couple of minutes, George once again carried a cupful of it out into the yard. Mr. Cranky ran after him. Mrs. Cranky followed more slowly. You're going to have some mighty queer chickens around here if you go on like this," she said. "Dish it out, George," cried Mr. Cranky. "Give a spoonful to that one over there." He pointed to a brown hen. George knelt down and held out the spoon with the new medicine in it. "Chick, chick," he said. "Try some of this." The brown hen walked over and pecked at the spoon. "Ouch!" it said. Then a funny whistling noise came out of its beak. "Watch it grow!" shouted Mr. Cranky. "Don't be too sure," said Mrs. Cranky. "Why is it whistling like that?" "Keep quiet!" cried Mr. Cranky. "Give it a chance." They stood there staring at the brown hen. "It's getting smaller," George said. "Look at it, Dad, it's shrinking." And indeed it was. In less than a minute the hen had shrunk so much it was no bigger than a new hatched chick. It looked ridiculous. And that's actually the end of that chapter, and the next one is A Goodbye Grandma, and it's the last chapter.